Thank you guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and like. As well guys, today I am going to talk about few things that you must know before you arrive or coming to Australia from another country. So the first thing I'll talk about mostly is that if you're coming for education, make sure you come with the right agent, or you should apply for the right education that you're coming for. For example, if you're coming for nursing, if you're coming for social work, if you're coming for engineering, accounting, make sure that if you come to Australia, you're ready to do that course. So just come with a course that you know if you're coming to do it, just make sure you do it. Don't regret doing it. For example, if you're coming for engineering, if you know engineering is a bit hard, just look for something that's a bit easy, because when you come here and then you leave school, you can actually be deported, or if you leave school and start looking for another school, it's very challenging. So that's another thing. And as well, if you know you're coming to Australia, make sure if your family is able to pay for your school fees for the next semester. For example, you got paid for this semester, and the next semester at least it will cap for you paying another fee, and it give you time to look for a job. As well, when you're coming to Australia, just know you're coming to look for a job and you're ready to pay for your school fees. If you're not ready to pay for your school fees, unless you're coming from a rich family that can be able to pay for your school fees, so that's very okay. So another thing that you must know before coming to Australia as well is driving. If you don't know how to drive, please make sure you practice in your own country, because the moment you land in Australia, you should know how to drive. Driving in Australia has a lot of rules. For example, through the roundabout, you have to give way to the people who are on your right. So, and then the one is on the left should give you right. And as well, another thing, you have to have a driving license. In Australia, you can't fake for a driving license. Make sure you have to have the right driving license. And if you can't come with a driving license, make sure you know that you have to come and pay in here. And passing an exam for driving test in Australia is very hard. It can take you years and days to pass the exam. So make sure you get your driving license, and make sure before you come to Australia, make sure you have your own driving license. Don't wait for it to be sent from Kenya or another country. Make sure you come with your driving license, and you should obey the rules. In Australia, they give you a fine. The more you speed, you get a fine. If you drink, you get a fine, or you can go into prison when you are continuing drinking. So make sure you're ready to come to Australia when you know how to drive and follow the rules in Australia. With Australia, with time management, you have to know if you come to Australia, first, before you're in your country, enjoy your life. If you don't enjoy your life when you're in your country, in Australia, time is very cautious in Australia. Like every single time you use in Australia is used for something else. There's no time. We chase money, we chase life, we chase everything. So the moment you come to Australia, make sure you know how to manage your time, because there's time to study, there's time to go to work, there's time to sleep, and a lot of people barely sleep in Australia. So make sure you come to Australia, make sure you know you have to know how to manage your time. Another thing is cooking skills. If you come to Australia, you can eat bread and drink drink Fanta or whatever, any drink as well. Like before you come to Australia, you should know cooking is a life skill, so it's not a gender skill. So when you come to Australia, just know you're coming to cook for yourself. No one is going to cook for you. And buying food in Australia, especially from another country, they don't really cook the food that you cook in your own country. So make sure you come with your skills on how you know how to cook. So make sure you can always come, cook for yourself, buy food that's available, and know how to cook. So it's not a gender skill, as I said, it's a life skill. So make sure you know how to cook. And another thing, before you come to Australia, make sure you do a research. The state that you go to, make sure, for example, there's Perth, there's Sydney, there's Melbourne, there's Adelaide, and this other, and Queensland as well. Before you come to Australia, make sure you've researched, is that state the best state that I'm going? Is Perth okay? Which state am I going for my education? Is it a better state? Is it going to give me PR? Am I going to achieve better? Are people saying it's a good state? Just do a lot of research before you go to a state and you're like, oh my god, when you reach that state, you start regretting. You're like, wow, I should not have come to this state. But make sure you do a full research before you move to a state that you are going, because a lot of people have seen they're concentrated in one state, and they realize when they arrive in that state, they'll be like, oh my god, I need to move to Sydney because Sydney is better than Perth. So make sure before you come to Australia, if you know your relatives, you know your friends, just ask them before you go to that state. So they will always give you feedback and they know how it feels. And if it's good for your cause as well, just go to that state, because some states they have good marketable courses for the states that they are going. So make sure you go to a right state. And as well, another thing, make sure you come with a good overseas health cover. With Australia, so most of the overseas health cover, some of them can be legitimate, and make sure you just come with a good overseas health cover, and make sure that the insurance is good for you to stay in Australia. And as well, you have to have a realistic budget. So make sure you come with, when you come to Australia, just know that Australian dollar, $1 is actually very expensive. So don't think everything that you see is like $25, $2 is cheap. Every dollar is counted. So make sure when you come to Australia, make sure that you come and budget yourself. Budget for your food, budget for your shopping, budget for anything, any household stuff, budget for it. For your recreational activities, budget for it. Budget for your time, budget for anything that you need to use. So don't just overuse money, just save money. And as well, and another thing, before you come to Australia, make sure that you know the climate. Make sure that you know that every season in Australia is different. For example, people were coming, and this is December, this is actually summer. You have to come with shorts, like anything that's really light. Don't come with something really heavy. So as well, pack your winter clothes, because after this season we're going to winter, which is around March or April. I'm not really sure when the time the winter is, but make sure you come with the right clothes, right items, and ready to fight for the seasons, because there's summer, winter, autumn, spring, so it changes. So make sure you come for the right season and right clothes. So as well, when you come to Australia, make sure you come for knowing that you're coming to work, because in Australia, if you don't work, you're not going anywhere. So without work, you can never challenge your life. You have to get yourself a job in Australia. Be ready for any job. I can't tell you the jobs that we are here. There's so many jobs that you have to do. If you can't choose a job, you can't choose a job in Australia. Jobs in Australia vary from different place or different people, but it depends on you. Your friends can actually show you which job to come for, and even if you can apply for a job in your country before you arrive in Australia. It's actually good if you choose a job that pays good money. But all the jobs in Australia, they pay good money. Even cleaning job can pay the same as jobs in hospitality, and as well with other jobs. So yeah, so be ready to do any job. I know people will be like, oh, I don't want to do a cleaner, I don't want to work in healthcare. My goodness, come here and you see it, make you line up and start getting ready on which one to do. So another thing, when you come to Australia, guys, if you're still young, please, if you come to Australia, please make sure, if you're like between the age of 19 to whatever, please come and study. It's enough. Like, a lot of people come when they're still young, and then they realize, they form up a group, and then they start actually going with the same group. They start leaving school, and then after a while, like maybe 2 to 3 years, when their visa is expiring, they have to be deported. Guys, if you're still young, come and study, come do the right thing, get your PR and do whatever you need to do. But please, guys, come to study. I know a lot of families are suffering. A lot of people have just come and just left school. Please come and study. If you're supposed to study, come study. Come do what needs to be done, because with Australia, if you follow everything that needs to be followed, you'll be fine. So when you come to Australia, make sure you follow all that. And those ones who are looking for agents, for example, me, I'm from Kenya. For Kenya, for example, if you need to come to Australia, use the right agent, because I've seen a lot of agents who are really using Kenyans' money, that they're abusing them and telling them, oh, I'll apply for you to Australia, and then they give them the wrong information and everything. You can always Google them on the website as well. Through the website, it's straightforward. Australia goes with, like, anything that's in their website, it's applied, it's right stuff, it's never not right. So for example, if before you come to Australia, you have to Google, find out what information is good. Example, one of the agents that I really know is a good agent is Georgina in Nairobi. Is I don't know, it's Australian embassy, whatever. I know a lot of people have come through them. They have a lot of link with universities as ECU, whatever, and options as well. You can use them. There's so many good agents in Kenya, but make sure they are registered agents. Leave these ones who are like, oh, we know how to go to Australia, but they haven't actually done it. So make sure you come with the right agent and be ready to come and study, or ready to come and do whatever needs to be done. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question, please DM me. I can always answer your question. Bye. Thank you. Take care.